Good morning. Come on in the building. Just made it home. Trying to get my life in order for the next few hours. Made the great escape this morning. Not having to stay over. But it's been rough. Yesterday evening started it. That's why y'all didn't see me last night. It's rough yesterday evening. Miss Diane hurt her knee yesterday. Hey, Stephanie, good morning. How you doing? Hey, Kelvin. So, when you don't have your regular driver and you're dealing with special needs children, it can be rough. They're smarter than you think. They know not to get on a bus where they don't recognize anybody. So I had to get off the bus yesterday and make sure they knew the right bus to get on, first of all, because our bus is in the shop. I'm sweeping the bus day before yesterday morning, cleaning up after the morning run before I came home, and the broom handle hit the door glass and cracked it. Can't drive with a cracked glass with children on them. So we had to put our bus into the shop. So they didn't know the new bus, much less the new bus driver. The only person they could identify with was me. So I was like, got to get off the bus and go get your children on here. Plus, the bus driver had never driven the route before. So she's trying to carry them home by a sheet of paper. And that's not easy either. When you're trying to drive, look at a paper for directions. And the kids live so far apart, and some of them have a lot of twists and turns, especially when you get up into those subdivisions. There's one way in and one way out. It's very difficult. So it put a lot of strain on me yesterday. And then Ms. Diane texted me early this morning around 5 o'clock and said she wouldn't be in. She's going to have to go to the doctor. Her knee was swollen. So I was like, okay, it's going to be rough again today. So I had to go over to the barn, find out when our bus door is going to be fixed, because we need our bus. The bus we have has enough seats on it, but I can't put everybody together. When you're dealing with special needs children, some of them cannot sit together. They have to sit by themselves. So I had to get all that straightened out before I came home. So then I had to turn around on the way home and say, okay, school is over. You're going out on YouTube now. It's a whole different mindset out here than it is down there. So I got to flip the script to come out here to talk to y'all now. But I'm catching up on all of the subject matter that I've been asked to talk about. So let me speak to y'all. And this morning, I want y'all to start thinking about, I found my red glasses too. I've been losing stuff between all these different buses and drivers and everything else. Okay, so someone last week, I had written it down, wanted to talk about the exploitation of children on the milk carton. That's cool. Like I said, my subject matter is based on basically what y'all choose to tell me y'all want to talk about. And if I don't get anything, then I try to go back and find something I think that is a topic of conversation. It's harder for me. I keep telling y'all that. I am not a reaction channel. I do not want to be a reaction channel. That's easy to come out here and just degrade somebody, talk about somebody, and you can do that for years and years and years, and you're going to get a whole bunch of people in there, but it's going to be the same people. Every now and then you'll get a like-minded person. I never wanted my channel to be like that, and I still don't want it to be like that, and I just choose to stick with topics. I don't care how many come in, if it's 4,000 looking and 30 in the chat, and at the end of the day it's 1,000. I don't care nothing about that. I'm not looking at no views, mine and nobody else. I'm coming out here doing me on my channel, okay? It's always been about topics. I hate doing reactions on people. That's why I like for people to leave me the hell alone. It's just not good, okay? because that's not the direction I've ever wanted to take my channel. And I just appreciate those who want to come up in here every day and chat with me about whatever subject matter we're chatting about, because we're real diverse over here. We might be on relationships this evening. You never know. Okay? It is what it is. Let me get back up and speak to those coming in. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. How you doing? Calvin, good morning to you. Hey, my Elaine. Thank you for coming in, Martin, for me this morning, Miss Audrey. Hello to you, Miss Joy. Ashley is in the building. She says, good morning, Ms.V, beautiful queen. Happy Wednesday to you as well. And all of you who have come and decided you wanted to chat with me this morning. Thank you so much, Ashley. Miss Audrey, morning, Ms.V. Now, young lady, do you have a note for your absence last night? I just told you I was tired. That's my note, okay? To Miss Audrey and my chat, I apologize for not coming out here last night. When I got home, I did look at some lives. And I was kind of like, those people support me. So I was kind of like waiting on them to get off because some of y'all be in their chats also. Then I looked at it. It was like 9 o'clock. I didn't want to do a late night live. You pick up a lot of people, international people, late night. But I really wasn't trying to be familiar with folks I didn't know. That wasn't my vibe last night. So that's my note. I was tired because Miss Diane did not come in yesterday evening. And I didn't realize it until 2 minutes before it was time for me to go out and get on the bus that she wasn't there, wasn't going to be there. New driver to the system where I work. She's worked in Texas City for many years, over 20 years, very familiar with the different buses and stuff. Not the children and not the routes. Puts the pressure on me to get her where she needs to go to drop these kids off on time. So that's my excuse, and I hope it's good enough. Mr. Popo, we found her. Call off the dogs. Okay, we miss you. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't make it last night. My mind wasn't right to come out here. You got to have your mind right. Y'all know how y'all are. I be out here fumbling and mispronouncing words and forgetting what I'm talking about. I couldn't do it last night. I couldn't get my mind together to come out here last night. Every now and then you got to take a break, and you need to know when you need to take it. Hey, Christina, good morning. So accept my apologies, Miss Audrey in chat. Hey, Miss Deborah Silver, how you doing this morning? Thank you for being a sugar wooger, Kevin. I appreciate that. And I am going to, like I told you, I saw what Zay did, and I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back in. I hope I can get in there this weekend. I don't really have a big agenda for this weekend. We got a 3-day weekend off, so I made no plans. And I hate making plans these days because they never work out anyway. So I'm just going to freelance it, do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. But one thing I want to do is go in there and make another membership to try to counteract having so many trolls coming in trying to take me to a different level and working the stank out of my moderators so I can start doing some members live, and then I can have more members coming in and we can have a better chat without them coming in with the nonsense. So I thought about it last night and I said, well, $1 is not too much for anybody. So I'm going to have the lowest right now, I think is a $2.99, $1. Okay. That'll be $1 a month. That'll be $12 a year. So everybody can afford to become a member at that rate. Okay. And still I'll pick up more members that way, and I'll probably make more money that way than I do by having a $2.99, $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. I think the top is $6.99. And those of you who want to, keep your memberships where they are, that's on you. I appreciate that. But I would like for everybody that comes into the channel to be a member so we can have a big members only live and do that more often than just people just coming in and they're not really interested in the channel and what we talking about. They're not interested in being a part of the family. Like I said, I'd rather grow small to big with the right kind of people, because I've been big before with 200 in the chat. I was moving up 300, but we all know what happened with that. The haters came and they decided, I'm going to take your channel and tear it down. And I was like, okay, you try it. It ain't going to work, but just try it, okay? Because the people who are going to want to watch you after you've been hating on me, we're not going to have the same people. These people over here are not gonna go over there and watch you when I done already debunked your lies. So that's where I am with this. Hey, my caller, how you doing, sugar? I hope your day goes well. It will be. She's a very good driver. She picks up really, really fast. I don't know her, but I know her family. One of her cousins singing the choir down there with me. It's a guy. Beautiful voice. So when she started telling me she was from the Texas City area and I had lived down there close to 20 years when I was raising my kid, I did not want my child being raised in no city. I wanted her in a small town where everybody knew everybody and the community could help me raise her, and they did. Velas, my childhood friend, was her bus driver down there. I told you we grew up together. I knew the teachers, I knew the principal, I knew the students. They were all in and out of my house because my house was the house for children. I only had one, but baby, she brought a bunch of them up in there and I knew them all. And now I'm picking up their children in Dickinson because she graduated from Dickinson, okay? So it all works out. Be good to people and they'll be good to you. Okay. Blessings to you, Shatika. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome, Ms.V. You're welcome. Hey, Miss Jackie Johnson. Thank you for coming in, Jackie Martin, for me this morning. Home girl, I appreciate that. Miss Misty sending love all the way from Houston, Texas, baby. Houston is in the house this morning. Thank you, Sugar. Hey, Ramona J, how you doing? Peaches is up in the building, content creator. Yo-Yo is up in the building, still taking that team week off. Busy. Good morning, Miss Yo-Yo. How you doing? My children will get some snacks today, thanks to you, Miss Yo-Yo. They're not gonna get it on the bus now because that ain't our bus. They're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to give it to them when they leading off the bus because I ain't finna clean up two buses. I cleaned up this bus this morning and then turn around and we have my bus back this evening. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't cleaning up no bus for nobody else. So they'll get their snacks, but whatever it is, I will hand it to them as they leaving off the bus because otherwise it's gonna be a mess. I ain't feeling all that this evening, all that cleaning up. Wisdom Warrior, thank you. Sugar, let me heart you. Okay. And y'all hit that like button. Working but listen, everyone have a blessed day on purpose. You too, Wisdom, and thank you so much for always donating to the channel. My children would appreciate it. I just wish so much that I could bring my cutie pies out here and let y'all meet them. Last year I was going to do it, but remember I injured my knee and I was going to send letters home to the parents asking them if it was okay. So hopefully this year I'll be able to make a whole year, and at the end of school I'll be able to let you wave at them as they leaving off the bus. Wisdom Warrior, morning, and thank you for your donation. We appreciate it very much for the kids. They appreciate it, especially my elementary. They get on the bus looking forward to that snack. Okay, Aaron, I don't want to miss anybody. Good morning, Texas friend. How you doing? Okay. Everybody's thanking Wisdom Warrior. Okay, so let's get into it. I said this morning, I said, let me go back and see what people have been asking for me to talk about out here. And y'all need to hit the like button, please. I don't need that many more. 10 could come in and hit the like button, and then everything will be cool. Because, I've already told you, it does not matter what 2 or 3 are gathering in his name. That's all that's important to me. And that you hit the like button and let me know that we got an equal number. When we leave up off here, we pick up the rest of the likes on the replay. Okay, so we're going to talk about children that have been exploited, when it started, how it came about, and we all know that the first time we recognized it was the milk carton back in the day. So the children on the milk carton refers to the practice of printing photos of missing children on the side of the milk carton, which became a widespread method to help identify and locate abducted children, particularly popularized in the 1980s. That's when my child was coming up in the 80s. She was born in 1981. And this is when it became very, very plain and dear to me Keep an eye on children. And when you got other folks' children over here, you need to keep an eye on them. Just don't have a home of babysitting and then something happen to these children and you are held responsible for it. No. So with the case of Johnny Gush, he was one of the first missing children to appear on the milk carton. Does anybody remember that? The 80s with the children. And y'all can start making your comments and I'll read them as I go along, as when I come back through, okay? The whole purpose for it was the idea to widely distribute images of missing children, hoping that someone might recognize them and provide crucial information leading to their discovery. It was a great impact because before then, we never had any idea who was missing. How did we know? It wasn't in the newspaper. That's all you had back then. There's not even too many newspapers being thrown anymore. Back in the day, that's what you had before we had the internet. So the impact was the practice significantly raising awareness. That's what it was all about. That was the start of the milk carton, about child abduction and to lead to creativity and organization like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is the NCMEC. That's the acronym for it. So we've come a long way since the milk carton. Because now, we have the internet, we have the cell phone, we get little warnings all the time on our cell phone where these missing children are all about, what area they were lost in or kidnapped. I hate that word. Or most of them, if they were even found. And we're going to talk about that too, the percentage of children that are found. Hold on a minute. Okay. Something else I want to tell y'all about. Here we go. Okay. Good morning, Miss Aretha. Appreciate you coming in. We're talking about the beginning of exploited children, and we're going to bring it all the way up to 2024. Okay. So all of this started, for those who had just come in the 80s. And that was the first time we ever really knew how many children were being exploited. Johnny Gush was a young paper boy, one of the first to be posted on the milk carton. He was from Iowa, and he disappeared in 1982, 1 year after I'd had my child. He became one of the first missing children to appear on the milk cartons, sparking public interest and leading to the widespread adoption of this method. Good morning, Wanda. How you doing? Miss Audrey saying media, whether TV, radio, internet, needs always post a picture of the missing child or adults. This could and would help folks to be on the lookout. Yes, because if they're missing for more than 24 hours, chances of you finding them again and finding them again alive is going to be slim to none. Thank you for that. Hey, Jason, good morning. How are you doing? Hey, Homestyle. Glad to see everyone and hope all is doing well, enjoying a happy day. Yes, we are, Homestyle. And we're in here talking about the beginning of the missing children back in the 80s when it was on the milk carton and why it came about. All right. So how it worked, it was that dairy companies would print photos of missing children on the side of their milk cartons, often including details like the child's name, age, and when they were last seen. Sometimes they would even know what type of clothing they had on, and they would also include that information. As much information as they could gather about the child, they would put it on there, because then you didn't have that many cameras either. Very, very few cameras. So in the 80s. So you had to really go just by eyesight, trying to find these children. And they would move them around pretty fast. Some of the criticisms back then was to argue that the practice might create unnecessary fear, while others questioned the effectiveness of relying solely on milk cartons to locate missing children. My take on it was, if you didn't have nothing else, that was the best way then. Jason is in here and he said he got detained in Philadelphia yesterday. Again, this time racially profiled me. Oh man. See, and that's another thing about black men these days. When you out and about, they will racially profile you on almost anything depending on what area of the country you might be in. Even though we have a police system that is supposed to be looking at the safety of people and for their better welfare, we all know that some are corrupt. And it might not be all of them in that particular city, but it only takes one bad apple to spoil a whole bunch of apples. And I'm very sorry to hear that, Jason. It could have been the car you were driving. If you have a car that stands out, and perhaps they back in hillbilly days where they don't feel like black people go to work and they are able to live where they want to live, drive what they want to drive, have the money in their pocket to do the things that they need to do. It's a sad situation that this is 2024. Over 200 years later, you've won your freedom, your forefathers and people behind you, but it's a mental bondage now. It's not a physical bondage. Was to be arrested by cops at Dirk's music was playing in the car. Oh, wow. Be careful. And I've learned that it's best when you get in situations like that, cooperate. Turn your cell phone on if you can so you can get some footage of it. If you have your cell phone up on the dashboard, just turn it on. Call somebody where they can be listening while they walk into the car, because you don't know these days how it's going to turn out. And I thought that had just about went away after the first black president, but it hasn't. I think racism will always be, and now black on black racism bothers me. It always has, because you have no clue, if you didn't go through it, how bad it really was. Hey, Bama, good morning. So where are the children now? Anybody know? In the area where you are, how many children are being exploited and how many children are missing in the area where you are? Ms.V, can you read my comment on microchip? Hold on. Scientists are still trying to get microchipping kids if they get missing. It hasn't been approved yet. How do you feel about that? How do y'all feel about microchipping? Okay, it's good if you come up missing. But then when does the microchip come out, or does it stay in for life? Because if it stays in for life, then that means you have no privacy ever. You wherever you go, they know. Whoever you with, they know. I don't know. I got some yays and some nays on that. Tell me how y'all feel about it. Do you think microchipping kids for that purpose? I say yes. But again, how long does it stay inside of you? Does it come out at some point, or is this microchipping in there for life? Because again, you're going to give away a lot of, there's no more secrets anymore once that happens. Okay. I went back up. Thank you, Miss Audrey. Aaron is giving a thumbs up. I'm thinking as an adult, it should be removed. That's what I think. Because at that point in life, You grown. So you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you know if it's safe, unsafe. You can Google it, you can read about it, and use your better judgment. For kids, I would say up to 18, because after 18, 21 at the highest, they are grown. They really grown when at 18 when they leave in your house at 18. Now, if they still up in there at 18, they are grown by number, but they are not physically taking care of themselves. Ashley is saying, Ms. V, did you see that about the Walmart young lady that was 19 that they say walked into an oven? Do you think that's foul play? Because that doesn't make sense? No, Ashley, I did not see that. What you mean she walked into an oven? How can you walk? Oh, in the Walmart, the big commercial ovens? The only way that could be possible is she went to work and she was on some type of drugs. Ain't nobody gonna walk into no oven. They train you before you go in them kitchens. She knew it was hot up in there. That sounds like foul play to me. Like maybe she was threatened to go up in there, or maybe she was pushed in there. I'm not buying that. If she was 19 years old and she was out there working, that's something the milk ain't clean there. No. Homestyle says microchipping anyone for any reason is not useful. Okay, so you're disagreeing with it. And you don't think it would help to find the exploited children and bring them back home within hours, maybe? You have your right of your opinion now. Don't get me wrong. I'm just asking. Jason says Philadelphia and Utah have been racist to me, where people be saying go to Africa to me every single time. First of all, why are we going to Africa? We didn't come from Africa. Not this generation. We were born and raised in America, so why are we going to Africa? Our forefathers might have could have told them that way back on the slave ships, maybe they came from Africa, but how many generations ago has that been? Where they been living? In a shoebox? I can't deal with that kind of mentality. That's just too racist right there. To tell somebody to go back to Africa. What you going back there for? You ain't never been. Okay, Jason said, I told him I have a construction company. I'm a businessman and I am well-off man. Be jealous and can't see me in my prime. And that's pretty darn sad. If they check your record, which they gonna call it in, okay? That's why they gonna get your license and walk back to the car and call it all in and everything. And they didn't see where you had no kind of record. You weren't wanted, you weren't a fugitive. Why are they bothering you? That's what I don't get. And what is going to be the purpose? It's not going to change anything. It's still going to be black men with jobs, making money, and owning their own. Yeah. And I'm proud of you. Very proud of you as a businessman, owning your own business. That's very sad, Ashley. It really is, Miss Audrey. If something ain't right with that, they need to do a thorough investigation of it. Did the woman survive, Ashley? Her mother was looking for her through Walmart, and then her mother works in Walmart. The young lady worked in Walmart too, but the thing is her mother tried to call her on the cell phone. Something ain't right with that. Somebody in there had it in for her. I bet you when it all boils down and the truth comes to the light, somebody had it in for her. Now, whether they got into an argument or they just dislike, because you know these days people can just not like you. You don't have to get in no argument with them. You don't have to say nothing about them. They just come. Here they come. They can't control their emotions. They can't control their hate. They can't control their jealousy. They just are pitiful people with some type of insanity going on with them. Hey, Aqua Blue, good morning. I'm hoping I read everything. I'm glad you brought that in because I hadn't read about that, Ashley. Yeah. So anyway, let's kind of bring it up to today. Now, we've had some mysterious deaths out here in the 90s, 2000s. In my opinion, Michael Jackson's death was mysterious. A man with that kind of money could go to any hospital he wanted to and get help for his drug situation. But yet he comes to Houston and he hires this doctor to come in and take care of him. Now, we all know how it got started with the Pepsi commercial when he got burned and he was on the heavy medication, which was mainly drugs for the pain. He didn't get the help he needed then. So it continued on and it got worse and it got worse until his demise. But do y'all think that it was just that, or it was more socially promoted by someone who they're now saying that the diddler had something to do with that also? Just asking now. Your opinion. Then we had Kobe Bryant. That was a mysterious death. You mean to tell me this man is flying back and forth every day? And he's going to a basketball game with his daughter? And just that day, the plane just malfunctioned and just went down and killed both of them. That was always strange to me. Okay? Then we've had Whitney Houston in a bathtub, getting ready to go over to Clyde Davis, whatever he had going on over there that night. And we found out lots about Clyde here lately since the Diddler's case came up. And then, if that wasn't enough, her daughter came up missing the same way in a bathtub, drowning. All these truths are going to come out. It's just a matter of time. And then back in the day, you had Aaliyah. Who was the pilot? And at what airport did they fly off from that they didn't get the weight that was on that plane? They already know what the plane weighed. Then the plane supposedly was overloaded. What airport did they fly out of that they didn't get the weight of the baggage of the plane to tell us she had to take some of it off? Mysterious to me. Okay. Jason is saying, only place where it's cool is Baton Rouge and Memphis or Chicago, or places been so racial in trouble where they want you. They want us behind bars. That's so sad. And a lot of it now, Jason, is coming out because they've been picking for a while. And they've been going at people with money, black men with money, for a very long time. Mike Tyson in that hotel room, and that girl goes up there at that time in the morning, and they put that man in jail for rape when she voluntarily went up in there. Okay. All right. I mean, I can only blame him for not controlling his emotions, but you knew what you were doing when you went up in there, too. That was in Minnesota. All right? Okay. Yes, Ms.V, I think it would help with finding missing children. Okay. So you agree with that part. That's the part I agree with also. But I'm like Miss Audrey, whoever said, at some point, you need to take that out of there because they grown now. Okay, I can make my own decisions on where I want to go, when I want to go, who I want to go with, what area I want to go to. I don't need nobody controlling me with no microchip all my life. That's too much control. You get the wrong politician in there, and that could be bad news. Just like they out here trying to tell a woman about her reproductive organs and if she can abort a baby and not abort. Government, get out the bed with these women. They ain't none of your business, okay? You ain't gonna do nothing for these people one way or the other. Let a woman make her own decision, and that's between her significant other, her husband, and God. Leave the government out of it. They ain't in your home telling your wife what she could do. I don't agree with that. Oh no, Ashley, she died. Oh wow, so that's gonna be a big investigation, or it should be. If that family push it, Walmart got plenty of insurance money and plenty of money. They need to find out who did it, why, what happened, so that family can get some closure on that. And then you saying the mother and the daughter worked in Walmart. She needs some therapy, Walmart. That's her child. Aqua Blue. What? Hold on. What's strange is Whitney, Bobby, and the boyfriend. Yeah, I forgot him too. He was on Dr. Phil and everywhere else. That boy was messed up too. And he had been with Whitney and Bobby for a long time. He was raised as a brother. But it was more to that story with him. Because, I mean, I've read lots about it and saw some of the things where it was saying he was her runner. Okay, well, we found out later on that Whitney's brother owned up to getting her hooked on the drugs. And she tried desperately. Even went all overseas and into, I don't know whether it was a Jordan or wherever, when she was with Bobby. But both of them were strung out because for years it was like Bobby was the one that had done it to her. No, they were attracted to each other because they was doing the same thing. Now you see Bobby done gone on with his life with a whole new family, and he ain't on no drugs and he doing fine. So you can get off of them. Jason, there is this white chick who wanted my money and wanted me to divorce your wife so I can be with her. I love my wife, ain't chasing other women. She my life. Well, she need to know that. And you need to report her too. And let her know. You ain't leaving your wife for her. And she's a stalker. Leave you alone. Ashley, some reason I'm thinking she might have worked in the bakery. That's what I'm thinking since you said that. And if she was working in the bakery, they trained you in them bakeries. You know the temperature of the ovens and how to turn the ovens on, how to turn them off, how to turn them up. They got all commercial type equipment back there that you wouldn't have in your house. So they got to train you. They got to teach you the type of gloves and mitts you need to order to work back there. Everything. Sanitation. That's food inspection back there. You really need to know what you're doing because you're dealing with the public. And she might have got to go in there and someone might accidentally close the door. Her in the bakery, I'm thinking. Well, even if they accidentally close the door, you know you're going to be screaming and hollering. Did you close the door and just walk off? And with nobody else in the kitchen that could hear nothing, no beating on the door, no screaming, no hollering, no nothing. Lord have mercy. She was just cremated on the spot. Okay. Hold on. Let me get back down here. Okay. Hey, in the safe zone, how you doing this morning? Happy hump day to you, content creator. I got a chance to come over and check out a little bit of your live last night. I always enjoy it. Keep up the good works. Okay. I think I reached the bottom again. Okay, so that's kind of disheartening to me that nobody else was in that kitchen. And how long was she in this oven before she was discovered? And the person who ever opened that oven door and found her, they're going to need help for the rest of their life too. That's a memory that will not erase. You'd have to get dementia or Alzheimer for that to go away. And it still might pop up from time to time. Because it's your short-term memory that you don't remember a whole lot. Long-term memory, you can go back to your childhood and be talking about folks that don't nobody else know but you. So that's how I was trying to bring up the exploited children from the 80s on the milk cartons. And then we went to the internet. So now, and the cell phone. So now that's our warning signals that kids are missing. And of course, the ratio of finding them is much better because the word can get out there much quicker than you going to the store maybe once a week or buying milk whenever and then seeing them on the milk carton. Well, that could be days and months and stuff in between. Ashley, some reason I'm thinking she might have worked in the bank. Okay, I read that one. And in the safe zone. Now, here's Ashley. Walmart always have a paper for you to write down any kind of illness or anything that you have. But the thing inside a insurance paper was on first work at Walmart, so she had insurance on her. Okay. Well, we're going to wait to hear about that then. I don't want to make no speculations because that's some scary stuff. They're just you and your mother both work at Walmart. Was she on duty even? See, there's a lot of questions there for me. Or were they just in the store at the time? If they were just in the store, why were you in the bakery? If you weren't clocked in to go to work? I don't know, but keep us posted on that, Ashley. Hey, 00, good morning to you. Good morning to you as well, Nathan. My husband worked at a pharmaceutical company, was found in bottom of the tank, dead. My son was 6 months, had a good lawyer, trust me. Oh my word. You just never know what people have been through and what they're going through. And that's what I always try to keep in mind when I'm out here on my platform and making statements, talking about topics. And I always allow y'all to make y'all's opinion because we never would have known this had not you said it. But that's foul play right there. Found in the bottom of a tank. Dead. Who was on watch? Who was supposed to be relieving him? Okay, I know this much from working in a plant. If you're going into any area, like in a tank, you always have two people watching, one on each side of you, in case there's trouble when you're going down in the tank. And they need to be there with all the equipment to help you get out of there and with radios on in case they need help. That's foul play. I'm glad you got your money, Miss Audrey. In the safe zone is agreeing with me. Foul play for sure. Aqua Blue, they have security doing rounds. Exactly. I was at Amico, I've told y'all, 20 years. But never, if our results were late, there was a foreman who was coming around to find you to find out the unit is calling for the results. So it's time for you to send your results over. They were looking for you. That was his job, to make sure you got the results over. I'm working in a place that could blow up with the wrong results, not getting the results. The machines are still rolling. They still operating. People are out there getting samples, working on machines. We had to keep in constant contact back then. When I went there wasn't no computers. It was all walkie-talkies. Wasn't no cell phones. Cell phones had just come in when I went out there. And they were those great big old house phones. Wasn't nobody packing that thing around in no case. 00 is praying for America. Baby, pray for America and the world. Because we all interconnected now. We're global now. So we're dealing with everybody in the whole wide world. The practice of printing, back to the children, missing children's photos, like I said, was to get the word out fast. But it all faded out in the 90s. And that's when we got the internet and we were able to get the word out much faster. Are they finding any more children or more children now than before? These people are so shrewd and so conniving and so swift. They already got the plan. They sometimes don't even know which child they're going to get. They just gonna snatch a child. But in my mind, I always want to know, what are you getting that child for? It's not always rape. I know that they got to be getting some of these children for body parts. There is somebody that is very wealthy that's going to pay them money for a liver, a kidney, a heart, or whatever body part they need. The thing of it is, those body parts have to match. So how do you know that this child, so you just go get another child if that child don't work? Now, one of the children, the missing children back on the milk carton, was actually found by some people who were laying pipe almost 30 years later. That's how long that 12-year-old, he was 12 at the time, he was found 30 years later. So that family didn't have closure for 30 long years. There they go calling, y'all. That's a long time. 30 years. That's half of your life. If the child was already 12 when it came up missing, imagine the parents what they have to go through. They never get over that. Even once they are found, it may bring closure for the moment that at least you know where your child is. But you had that child for 12 years. You will always miss that kid. My father stepped in and was the missing dad. Thank you, my son now, 39. You never know the walks of life someone has gone through. You don't. And a lot of people don't talk about it. I've talked more to y'all out here than ever in life about the segregation problem that I went through in small town Louisiana. Unless you were from my high school in that era, you won't know. Even at class reunions, I've been asked to talk about it. I couldn't. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't even want to remember it. They wanted to talk about how far we've come since those days. And I finally opened up to the world about it out here on YouTube. Sometimes it takes a long time. Things that pain you in your childhood can grow up and affect you too if you don't know how to handle it. Everybody couldn't have taken what I went through and even like the other color of people now. Thank God for my mother and my father who taught me that everybody is not a bad person. You're going to meet bad black people just like you're going to meet bad white people from a child. Don't look at color. Look at the person. That's how I was taught. That's how I get along with all different nationalities and races of people. Because that's how I was raised. If I had prejudiced parents just as prejudiced as the people who were doing things to the little black girl, then I wouldn't feel this way today. I don't care nothing about what color you are. It's just the person. It's the personality. It's the character that they portray. It's some black people I don't care to be around, and we both black. They're not good people. Wait a minute. Is this a new one, Ashley? Hold on. Was said that her mother found her and found daughter. They said her mother walked around Walmart and people keep saying they haven't seen her daughter. That is sad. Oh, wow. And see, I'm still confused about this. If they went, that's kind of almost telling me that she wasn't supposed to be at work because the mother should have known to go to the work area. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, like I said, keep us posted on this, Ashley. The mother was asking employees, have they seen her daughter? And every employee said they haven't seen her daughter anywhere. I think the detectives and the investigators need to be on it. Okay, I know Walmart got a lot of money too, and they trying to protect themselves, but a person that come up not only missing, but is now deceased. Okay, investigation needs to happen. Ashley, avalanche cameras be all in Walmart. So whenever they go to check that camera, someone going to be erased. That part of the video at Walmart. Wow. They should have picked up the cameras that day. They had to come out that day. The day of whenever they found the young lady in the oven. That is when the police should have been called right then. And those cameras should have been taken right then if they went by the law. How you gonna know what happened in there if you don't pull the cameras right then? We have cameras on our bus. If anything happened on our bus, they call the bus boy and say, can you pull the tape? They don't wait till tomorrow or next week. They pulling that tape right then. They don't want them parents on them. The school system ain't trying to get no lawsuit. Whoever is right and whoever is wrong is going to show up on the front camera, the side cameras, or the back cameras. So everything I do and say is recorded on that bus. And it is still being recorded until 15 minutes after I get off of that bus. So if anybody else come on there, they seen and they heard too. Yep. So it ain't too much getting away with stuff these days. So people just need to be very, very careful of what they say. I live in a building where the only privacy I have is in my bathroom. From the time I drive onto this lot and I circle around the back, cameras have hit me all the way down as soon as I come through that gate. When I'm coming into that garage, the cameras are on my car coming through that gate. They know if I'm supposed to be coming through the gate or not, if I'm a guest. If they have to pull the cameras back, when I park, when I come into the hall, it catches me right over that door, even though I have to only cross the hall to come in. Then once I come in, I'm on camera in my own house, everywhere but the bathroom. The only way I'm not, I turn it off. That would be kind of dumb to be paying for something and then turn it off, right? And I can do it on my cell phone before I open the door. But that is good, Ashley, to know. It sounds like you worked in Walmart before, because you know lots about the cameras and everything. So that is what I wanted to come out here and talk to y'all about. But I'm so glad you brought that up because I had not seen that. And I probably would have missed it. But it came in right on time with the topic that we were talking about, the conversation of the milk cartons and how all of these kids have been exploited for years, coming out in the late 70s, early 80s, up until this day. So just be vigilant about your children. Be careful of whose house you let your child go to. I was always like, y'all are welcome to come to my house. But I never was too keen because my parents didn't let me spend the night away from home. So I never was too keen about her spending the night away from home either. It had to be immediate family members that I knew it was okay. Even I had a sister-in-law, my brother's wife, the one that passed away of kidney failure. His wife, she had a son when my brother married her. Poor little CJ. He always wanted to stay down at the house of boys because all my brothers had boys, except for one. Shantae, my niece who used to come in all the time on my chat, and me. We were the only two with girls. Everybody else had boys. So, of course, the boys back there playing games in the room. They outside in the day. And whenever she came, he was welcome to play. But whenever she got ready to go, she always said, come on, let's go. I'd have to beg her when I would be there. I'm watching him. He's going to be okay. there's lots of parental guidance up in here. My brother does not play, and you know that. So he admires me today because he tells me, Auntie, if it hadn't been for you, I'd have had to go home a minute day. But that could only happen when I was down there because I wasn't living in Louisiana. I was living in Texas. So shout out to CJ. He turned out to be all right. Marshall CJ. Okay? Yeah, he's all right. So now he's out there protecting somebody. VP Harris had a rally in D.C. last night outside. 75,000 people were there. This is why T started his stunt and said, I'll meet you. What did I see about? Oh, I read this morning where the rally she had here in Houston, people are starting to get threatening letters. Now, that's deep. How y'all know who to send the letters to? Y'all had to get the names of them people, and y'all had to do some doxing, and y'all had to do go to some investigator or somebody in the legal system to start sending out some letters. Now, I'm right here in Texas. Hold on. But ain't nobody sent me no letter, and better not, because I'm filing charges. Anytime now you mess with me, it's elderly. Shouldn't have never told me I was elderly because I wasn't looking at myself as elderly. But now I'm elderly, okay? Because your penalty is much more severe messing with an elderly person versus somebody your age. So mess with me if you want to. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to tell it. That's what they there for, ain't they? I'm scared. They threatening me. They telling folks what they going to do to me. Here's the video, sir. Go get them. Lock them up. Because do you see where I'm bothering them? Okay. I'm going to take advantage of being elderly. Okay? If you're going to try to take advantage of me. That's how it's going down. Okay? But imagine that. You went to a rally and now you getting a threatening letter. Baby, I can't with these people. Why are you so demonic out here these days? That's crazy to me. Okay, Ms.V, please eat. Everyone come back. Miss Audrey's telling me my time is up. I see it up there, 57 minutes. I got actually 2 minutes to tell y'all goodbye and thank you. I really appreciate y'all coming in this morning. Thank you, Miss Audrey and Miss Jackie, for coming in. Thanks to all of you who always catch the replay. It really makes a difference to me because it lets me know that you like the subject matter. Like I say, you're not going to always like every topic that I bring out here. You may come in and spend a few minutes and decide you want to go and look at somebody else, and that's fine. And then I have people coming in saying they have to go to work, they got to do this, but they always come back and tell me they watched the replay, and I appreciate you. I'm going to get on that membership so everybody over here can become a member. $12 a year. That's what you'll be paying. Okay, $1 a month. So we can keep like this morning. See, the trolls, they ain't bothering us this morning. Thank the Lord. But some days they come in here like they done lost their ever-loving mind. I'm kind of seeing some stuff too because I watched Miss Loretta over there last night too. And I do believe if it's a person that you are into it with or you say something about, that's trolls from them coming to try to check you. You'll never be able to check nobody virtually. You're wasting your time. You're giving them views is what you're doing. So keep doing it. I appreciate that. But I'm going to try to make it in the future where I don't have to work my mods so hard because they won't take anything. Even I've tried to give Miss Audrey something. She doesn't need it, first of all. It's just the thought of you being in here every time I come in here. And Miss Jackie, okay? And I try to buy lunch from time to time. Miss Jackie has one cell phone over here. I don't know which thousand it was, but I try to give back. Y'all are giving to me all the time, so I try to give back also. Kevin, we'll see you later. Y'all hit that like button. Thank you for coming in this morning. Like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully I'll be back out here tonight, Miss Audrey. Now, don't pin me to it because I told you it's rough because Miss Diane is not there. And my children were pretty good this morning. I'm trying to even get a bigger bus for them this evening because They don't like sitting with each other. And then you got to stop the fights and all the bickering and the arguing and all that stuff. So I have to leave a little early and go down there and see if I can get a bus the size that we had, the number of seats that we had. The bus is the same size, but it's fewer seats in there, which make me have to put them together. And I'm trying to avoid all confrontation. Have a blessed day all. See y'all later on. Take care. Much love. I'm out.